Hello. Good morning. Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. I don't have to work today. We're gonna get a nice good stream in here, and it's gonna be a great time. We're gonna do some performance testing on some of the ECS changes I finally got ironed out yesterday after the stream. Turns out with the new way that I'm calling the processors, that, and I'll show you, I was using returns here and here, which meant that it returned out of the loop, you know, for every entity. Like as soon as the first entity would hit, you know, one of these conditions, it would cancel the loop for the rest of them. Because I didn't refactor my code properly. Well, I just didn't refactor those parts of it because we changed from just a function that got called for one entity at a time versus a function that's getting called for every entity. And we could, so yeah, we need to do the continue there, but we could make another function, another for each, that kind of does this part for me. And that is what most of my processors will require. What do you require? But yeah, we got it working. I got it working last night. So I think now is the time. Now it's time. It's time to see what impact archetypes has on performance here. So I did this whole archetypal refactor for the ECS system. So before, and you can just see, if you look on the right here, you can just see, maybe you can't on YouTube Shorts, sorry. Well, I guess you can see it on the left here too, but like you can see like how much changed. So like a lot of shit changed in the system, the base subsystem, and then there's this entirely new class here. I think actually we can delete this one now. I think this one's obsolete, which is great because it's a little uggo. It was a little uggo. But yeah, I think we can do some performance testing. We can. Let me pull up my old metrics here. I've been writing things down as I've been trying them out, so I can, you know, maybe make a video about what went well, what didn't go well in the future. And this is going to be pool method. And I had I should probably replace these ones. I don't think these ones were running properly. Maybe I can go back to an old, let's go back to an old one. We should do like on the 30th. Yeah, yesterday I did a couple to try and troubleshoot, but those aren't gonna have good metrics in them. Okay, so let's go in here. Okay, so why don't we let's just replace all of these. Count 1101. So I ran this for not that long, but that's fine. Target. We're not running target, so I'll leave target there. We didn't run the target processor. Move to 1100. State tree, basically everything that's not entity attachment processor, because that runs in 2, which I should probably change. Okay, so this is the kind of like final metrics for the pool processor. So velocity, Let's clear everything out that's not the target processor as well. Okay, that was not nice of you, Google Docs. It was not nice of you. Velocity. You are max 43. 17.3. 17. Move to 45. 17.6, 17 point, almost 2. Let me go to state tree. You were 31. Jesus, these are so much. 10.4, 10.1. ISM processor. And this is all ISMs. This is all ISMs. Apache boys, 6.3, 2.7, 4.3. Interesting that the median on that one is much higher. Actually, almost 4.4. And then these ones are all like super fast. Representation is like... Yeah, that one's just stupid. Stupid to even consider performance on because it's so fast already. Okay. So we have that. So give me this table. And this is archetype. We will do the archetype method. Okay. Let's get in here. Let's get in here. We're gonna go 2000 for like a minute maybe. Let me get out my timer. All right. Yeah, let's just fucking do it. Let's do it, boy. I want them as all ISMCs. I'm gonna wait for them to finish spawning. I can usually tell when that happens because the performance does increase. There we go. Okay. Timer, stopwatch, start. Okay, we're gonna run this for about a minute. Bird Pineapples, welcome in. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So we're just gonna let this soak for a bit. Some good examples here. Look at them go, all 2,000 of them. Okay, we're at about 40 seconds now. We'll just let it run for a little bit longer. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I didn't even start it. Okay, sorry, we gotta sit here now for a whole nother minute. Okay. All right. Nothing was running. It wasn't doing anything. Okay, so now we're running it. Louis, thank you for the sub, my dude. Good morning and welcome. So we got 2,000 guys spawned here. I'm working on refactors to my ECS system. I just changed from like an entity data pool approach to I've been making successive refactors, but the latest one was from an entity data pool to a archetypal looping method. So I'm trying to see how much performance we got from that. It should be more performant, but let's see. Okay, we're at 50 seconds. I think that's good enough. We just need something to compare here. So we stop that, end. Let's see here now. I think it felt a little better, I think it felt a little better. So we just gotta like highlight all of this, and then I'm gonna do for each process. And then let's start writing down here. Okay, so velocity, we'll just go down the list here. 21, 21.5 milliseconds, 14.3, 14. Oh no, I did that wrong. Count. 944. 21.5, 14.3, 14.2. Target processor. We didn't run that one. 29.4, 13.7, 13.5, state tree, 22.3, 7.9, 7.9. This one's much faster, I think. About 3.5. Okay, attachment. Where's the attachment processor? Okay, 6. Wait, now that one ran twice, yeah. 6, 2.4, 4. LOD. 945. Why did that one run one more? So we have 0. Basically 1. Basically 1. 0.45. 0.4. These ones are just like so fast already. Representation is 0.3. Wait. 0.3. 0.06. Holy shit. That's like basically nothing. 0.05. How is result? We're jotting it down right now, so stay tuned. Max 0.5, 0.16, 0.15. Okay, so here's the comparison. Here is the comparison. Can I just go like that? Okay, perfect. So this is the old method here. We cut the max down by half on velocity. We gained about 3 milliseconds. You know, not crazy. That's not a huge percentage gain, but it's good. The max being down is great. Move to same story. Cut the max down by about 15 milliseconds. We gained about 4 milliseconds on the loop. For move to state tree. Let's see. 22 gained about 10 milliseconds on the max. Gained about 2 milliseconds on the looping, on the median and average. ISM was 11. Now it's 8.3, so about 2 there, or about 3 rather. Now we cut this one in half. That's kind of crazy. Because I guess we're gaining. I guess there was about 3. What I'm seeing is like there was about 3 milliseconds of overhead on the pool method. And so that's what's cool about that is that like this one was only taking 7 milliseconds on average, but that we cut that basically in half. Now it's only 3.5 milliseconds. Attachment processor max. Attachment processor is almost the same. Interesting that the median. I don't know why is the median so different on the attachment. Oh, you know what I bet it is? The attachments don't get added for like a few frames or something. So I think it's probably like 0. That's throwing off the average. But that's why we use median as well to isolate those things. Now these bottom 3 are like already like not doing a whole lot, so they're super fast. They are super stupid fast. So what did we gain there? Yeah, so we gained about half there as well. So we went from like 0.78 to 0.54. It's, a little less than half, but the max went from 10 milliseconds to 1 millisecond though. That's kind of crazy. So we're getting a lot more stable is what I'm seeing. And then the representation processor, like it's already like 34 microseconds and we went down to like 6 microseconds, which is like these were actually percentage wise, these were the biggest wins, I think. but they're already so small that it doesn't really matter. So yeah, we saw across the board improvements. Now the target processor I'm not running. Maybe I should try and run that and see what happens. Maybe I should try and run that and see what happens. I just I think I just removed that from the entity subsystem. Now this is probably going to make some things crash, I think. Yes, I know. Okay, we're just gonna go. This might crash though. No? Okay, we're not crashing. That's surprising. There it is. Okay. Dude, no, not this one. No. Why? Why? Okay, so this was happening to me a while ago. I thought it resolved itself, but it did not. Okay, so there's some sort of issue with instanced structs and array members. We'll see what's going on there. It's pretty inconsistent though that happens. Like we just ran fine before, and it has nothing to do. That one has. I have confirmed that it has nothing to do with the target processor that I just turned on. I would like to just run that again and see what happens. Wait, was that updated? Okay, we still have target processor on there, okay. Yeah, look, can we please get a clean run here? Or are you gonna crash on me again? Okay, I just wanna wait for it to, there we go. Okay, we're done spawning. We're just gonna let that run for a little bit. Let it soak. Got a timer going here. Try to get about a minute in there. Yeah, I guess I may be doing a shallow copy on those structs, is what I'm seeing. Gemini has actually been very nice for debugging some of this, I do have to say. Just giving me ideas on where to look, you know? Especially when it comes to the memory stuff. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm still not great at, you know, I'm used to the normie languages, you know? To the web dev world, where you don't have to worry about memory, really, at all. Okay. So the target processor was running. Well, at least I hope. We'll see. Let's see what we're looking like here. Grab me that, yeah. It didn't run. Shit. Okay. Okay. So that's why it wasn't crashing. Because it wasn't running at all. Why not? Why not? Let's see here. Thank you for the sub. Welcome in, my dude. Okay, yeah, so we're not hitting that. We make sure that it's actually there. Hello? Oh, that's initialized. Yeah, that won't get hit. Okay, what do we, target processor should be? Yeah, it's there. Okay. Oh, we're probably not disabling it. Processing. Yeah, why isn't that running then? Oh, it's like the last one. Okay. Target processor. Are you enabled? True. Are you processing? That is true. Now, why? Why is that processing? Oh, because I don't. Yeah. I know what the issue is. Yeah, so we're setting it to true unconditionally. And then this actually only gets called, like or I should say this, the callback function. It only gets called if it's if there are entities to process. So I could do something like this. But this function is on a background thread. Oh no, it's not. This is actually running on the game thread. Okay, well fuck it. I guess we're gonna run it. It's gonna. Okay, so performance is gonna be absolutely horrible. Okay, so yeah, we need to, I guess, just re-enable. I think did I delete the background thread one? Yeah. So we need to remake our background thread for each. And I do want to do like the very last step in this is going to be to parallel for the processors as well. But I want to do that last because it kind of obscures. It kind of obscures how much time the processors are taking up. Like you can't get as clean a read on it, you know? Because it's split across frames. Let me see. We're still not getting hit. And I think we have to restart. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, it's so slow. The target processor is my absolute worst processor. By far. It needs to run on a background thread, as you can see. Okay, well I guess that's what we're doing next. Okay, what is this? Yeah, and we have a probably some threading issue here as well. On the F-ability entity system, F-ability system entity data, why are you angry, I guess? Because you're getting captured in the query function? Are you getting written to? Well, no, this isn't async, so yeah, what is happening? Oh, I wonder, is the chunk processor null? Hmm? No. No, it's not. What is the issue here? So this one. Oh, when we're copying it. Okay. Yeah, right. So it's on the ability system copy. Interesting. Yeah, why are the copies... Hang on, let me go back and read what Jim and I had to tell me about this shallow copy issue. Yeah, okay. I did think about this. Okay. So yeah, I have to tell the struct how to copy things. Apparently there is a rule of 5. Is that a thing? Hang on, let me search that. Rule of 5, C++. Destructor, copy constructor. Oh my god, dude. C++ is so verbose, man. If any of the below functions is defined for a class, then it is better to define all of them. Okay, so I was running into issues with the LOD entity data. It does not have a constructor, but F my entity data does. I think I have to, or else it like complains that there's no virtual thingo. So if there's a destructor, a copy constructor, copy assignment operator, move constructor, move assignment. Let me read about this. The rule of Big 5 is an extension of the rule of 3 to include move semantics. The rule of 3 consists of a destructor, copy constructor, and copy assignment operator. Okay, just the move constructor, move assignment. Okay. Dude, this is going to be so annoying to have to do this for every piece of entity data. Just ask ChatGPT. Brother, what do you think led me here? ChatGPT is for fucking normies too. I'll be honest. Like, only normies use ChatGPT. The real ones use like Claude or Gemini. Copy constructor, yeah. Do I actually have to do anything in here or just have it defined? A deep copy of the, and I know writer can, I think probably generate a good amount of these. Generate, give me copy and move operate. So I guess this is the rule of 5 here that it's given me. IDK, I joined 10 seconds ago. I don't know what you're doing. Well, thank you for your very insightful comment. I joined 10 seconds ago. My first thing was ask ChatGPT. Oh, pinnacle, the pinnacle of humanity has arrived. So yeah, what are we making here? Implement copy operations, implement move operations. Add uniform initialization. I have not seen this screen, so fuck it. So does this, I think it generated basically, and it was saying, it was saying I needed what now? A destructor, which I implemented the virtual destructor. So I think that's probably fine. Use Claude. Yes, don't do anything yourself, human. Let the robots do it for you. Stupid human. Move assignment, move constructor. Show me the move constructor. Copy constructor, destructor. Where's the move constructor? Does not throw any exceptions. Wait, you can just do that? What? Move assignment operator. So that's okay. It did implement that. Yeah. So it did implement the move ones. It did. Okay. So yeah, I wonder. God, that's so annoying that like you have to manually specify these. But let's also try it for this ability system entity data. Oh, it had a constructor there. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's the issue. Hang on, let's just rebuild there. Well, we'll see. The LOD entity data one is quite the annoying one. No appropriate constructor available. Okay. Oh boy. I need a default constructor now, though, I think. Yeah, I think if you make a constructor, you just have to do a default one. Otherwise, it's like, dude, what the fuck do I do? I'm C++. I can't do anything on my own. You have to tell me how to do everything. Welcome in, everyone. Good morning. I am working on a video game. It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo. So kind of like third-person RPG, like Skyrim, except you're like, you know, managing a colony as well, or something like that. I'm kind of picturing like vanilla WoW plus RimWorld plus Hades, if I had to pick like the games for each genre there. But I've been making this ECS system. What is this? I'm in the middle of saying. I am right in the middle of explaining that. It's an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain and AI-generated quests. The past, I think this will be day 5 of the ECS system refactor. An ECS system is an architecture. It's a data-driven architecture that is very performant, and this is so that I can run thousands and thousands and thousands of NPCs all over the world. And I think you'll soon realize why that's necessary for me. Let's grab a new seed, 640. We were on 639 yesterday, so new seed here. We'll see how exciting this one is. Yeah, so this is my procedural terrain. This one's okay. This is an okay seed. It's not super exciting. It's kind of all samey over here, kind of flat. There are some more exciting seeds, I promise. But usually, you can see how there's like 2 different zones here. Like this is one zone over here. We got the mountains around it. Then there's a zone over here. Here's me. Here's me. Here's the world map. Where am I on this map? There I am. So you can see that all these different colors are like different zones, different biomes. This one's called Shadowed Lake. You can see the names up here as I hover over them. Wormwood Forest. Twilight Vale Forest. The Fountain of Youth apparently is just right down the street. Witchwood Forest, a lot of forests here. Ironvale Ridge, Festering Bog, Whispering Tundra, Frost Peak Mountains. So hopefully those will all be quite flavorful. Right now I only really have 2 different kind of biome things. Like I have like kind of this this meadowsy biome, but the terrain noise for this one, it's all like rocky and craggy, so it's not exactly a good meadows. And then there's a forest one over here, which I'm trying to run to. And I have underground caves, which were a massive pain in the ass to get working, but they're really cool now that I have them. I'm not going to go down in that one. We're going to try and find a cave that goes to the next zone over. I do need to increase the resolution on this noise. This noise needs a little bit of work. The other ones look better than this. Let me see. Let me pop out here. Is there any caves I can kind of take a peek through here? There's that one, but it doesn't go through. I'm trying to see if I can get to the other side. I guess right there, no, I would just fall through. I would just, look at that. Isn't that nice? Look at this big cave here. We can maybe try a different seed. I was trying to show you how to get from like zone to zone, but let's try a different seed. Maybe it'll be a little bit more interesting as well. 640, we'll go 641. 641, please. Okay, this one might be even more boring. Yeah, so this is like the meadowsy noise. So like you can see if I get down real low on the terrain, it's like, you know, super flat. Super flat, but we have some nice caves here. So here's all the caves underground and stuff. Eventually there'll be like ore and stuff spawned down there, you know, very, very a la Minecraft. Nothing there yet. We got some floating bits, which is kind of cool. This one's kind of boring as well. This zone is called the Princess's Tower of Dreams. These are all like AI generated zone names, so they don't really make sense yet. They don't really make sense. We're gonna try some more seeds here to try and get a cool one. There's some that have like really high altitude mountains and stuff. We're literally in the middle of an ocean here. So this is like a middle of an ocean seed, which I do account for. Like I shift the map over whenever that happens, but there's a limit on it, just for testing. Oh, Mart, welcome in. Welcome in, Mart. Okay, there's a mountain. There's gonna be a mountain right there. There you go. It gets slightly more interesting. Yes, hello, Mart. Which direction was that mountain in? Was it over here? I think it was over here, yeah. Look at this map here. Oh, this is a big map. We are in Frostvale Tundra. And so, yeah, there's a slightly more interesting terrain now. That zone is probably a very mountainous zone. But the flow of the game will be like, you know, you create a character, there are going to be different classes to choose from. Each class has like a bunch of distinct, unique abilities for each one. And, you know, when you pick your class, it's set for the game, but, you know, you'll generate a world very like Valheim or Minecraft or something, a seeded world. You can give it a seed. And you'll spawn in at level 1. And as you level up, I'm thinking every few levels, you'll get to pick from like 3 different abilities, 3 random abilities that are distinct to your class. And as you level up, hopefully that will create like a new build every time, right? Because when you die, you will start over at level 1. But you'll have talent trees as well. Those will be static for each run, so the same every time. So you'll need to pick ones that are like, you know, if you get some fire spells, pick the fire ones, etc. And hopefully that means each run will be quite different if I have enough spells and stuff. But as you're running around through the world, you'll be recruiting colonists and building things. I do have a bit of a building system in here, so we can, like, you know, place some things, build little houses for our colonists. They'll have moods and needs, and they'll have their own set of skills. You know, like construction will be a skill that'll take longer or shorter, depending on what your skill level is. You can run around in the world gathering resources. I have dynamic tree chopping, which, you know, I swing at the tree, and then wherever my axe connects, it actually deforms it at runtime. So wherever I chop through, you know, I got 9 wood, and so that's where the tree falls. It's falling very slowly right now. There you go. Now it's falling. I can do the same if I were to jump each time. If my axe actually hits it, there we go. And now it's falling. And then I can keep chopping the rest of it. So there'll be a logging skill for this. I don't have like skill levels or anything in place yet, but that will be the case. And you can send your colonists to go do so as well. And the reason I'm building the ECS system is because I want to run the whole world. I want to run all of it, or at least as much as possible. So like each pixel on here is a terrain chunk. So if I zoom out here, there's 1 terrain chunk. 1, 2, 3. So I'm generating about a 4 terrain chunk radius right now. which is only about this big. So the world is very large. And so there's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of NPCs running. And so I need a very efficient way to do that. And my old ECS system was just running everything on the background thread, which was working fine. And I was getting thousands of NPCs spawned and stuff in the world. I have that turned off for now. But that will be how I do that. And, you know, if I have a colony here and I run to the other side of the world, I still want your colony running, right? Like if you send some guys over there to go chop trees down, they will have to run over there still and chop the trees down and bring the trees back. And if there's any bandits or wolves in the forest, like they will get attacked. So you'll need to make sure that your colonists are properly equipped, properly set up and stuff like that. And hopefully this makes the world feel alive, right? And then there'll be some NPC ran colonies as well around the world to interact with, to, you know, you can get raided by them, you can raid them, you know, that kind of thing. I'm curious, how often does fixing a bug somewhere break like 10 other things you've gotten to work? Rarely is it 10 other things, but, you know, it does happen. You fix a bug and it breaks something else. I mean, it's usually just, kind of know when, you know, if you've, you know, I'm the only one that works on this, so I kind of know all the systems. So it's like if I make a change or fix a bug, I kind of know to expect whether or not it's going to break other things. Like I don't know for sure, but I'll know like, yeah, this has a potential to break other things. And it's usually just if you change your overall approach in fixing the bug, right? If you don't change too much, then it's, you know, it doesn't really happen that much. Mart, yes, I've said hello, Mart. Today, you making an ECS system. I am refactoring my existing ECS system. This game looks dope so far. I remember watching a couple months ago. Come a long way. Thanks, man. The train generation hasn't changed. Oh, shit. How did I just do that? How did I just do that? I know the mantling settings are all fucked up. And that is something that's on my list of things to fix. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that, David. Welcome in. New seed, 644. But yeah, the terrain generation hasn't changed at all since I've been streaming on YouTube Shorts. So that's all the same. Here's my meadows biome, and then here's my tree biome, my forest biome. I will unsubscribe you. Oh no, Mart. What do you want from me, Mart? What do you want from me? There's only so much attention I can give to you while still, you know, being courteous to other viewers. Game chat, what game is this? This is my game. It's called My Project right now. So it doesn't have a name or anything. It's just one that I'm working on. Just one that I'm these are all like placeholder assets as well. Nothing is final. These are all just like free assets that I picked up over the months, you know, over the years. But yeah, we've done a lot of work. I would love to show some of the Colony Sim things. But the ECS system is... Well, maybe I can't. Let's see. Maybe I can. Hit me with the spawner. Let's spawn one colonist warrior here. What is ECS system? It stands for Entity Component System. And it's a way to take advantage of your CPU's principles of cache locality for performance improvements. And it's a way to really efficiently run like thousands and thousands of things. And basically, like when your processor tries to get memory, when it needs to go all the way over to your RAM to grab the memory, that's like going to the grocery store, right? You don't go to the grocery store just for one thing. When you go to the grocery store, you grab some more things that you need or you might need, right? Your processor does the same thing, except it doesn't know what it needs. So it just grabs that chunk of memory that it needs, and then it grabs the rest of the cache line, which is like 64 bytes. So it grabs the next 64 bytes of data that is physically right next to it in your RAM. Going to the RAM takes a long time. So processors have an L1 and L2 cache on them, on the processor. That takes an exponentially, that is so much faster. That is like enormously faster. So the slowest parts of a CPU operations are actually like chasing pointers. When you're chasing pointers to go fetch memory, right? It's not the actual arithmetic operations or anything like that. It's reading memory. So that's why processors have these caches on them. And so in an ECS system, what you do is you store your data for all these entities in really tightly packed contiguous arrays. So every element in that array is right next to each other physically in your memory. And when you do a for loop over that data, like say you have a position data and velocity data. Those are two different pieces of data, right? And you might have a processor that takes the velocity, applies it to the position, sets the new position, right? When you iterate over those two arrays, if they're both tightly packed, it's going to run so fast, so crazy fast, because every time your processor needs to go to RAM to pick up some memory, it's going to grab the memory that it needs for the next iterations. And if it's already there in the processor cache, it won't have to go to the RAM anymore. It won't have to make a trip to the grocery store, right? It'll be so much faster. That's what an ECS system is. Can you use 1,000 entities in 1 million chunk? Well, my tests are with 2,000 entities. I don't think you understand what a chunk is, but yeah, I can do things. I can do so many thousand here. But let's show some Colony Sim things here. So I'm gonna build a little storage area. Let's do it on. Here, I'll show the little voxel algorithm here, which is kind of, I think it's neat. So because I have these underground caves and stuff, these overhangs, I had to make this little walking voxel algorithm that like spins up these voxels on the fly. Let's make it pink. And so this is going to be my storage area. That's going to be my storage area. So I need, what I'm going to say here is we're going to tell him to go forage in area. And I should probably, I probably need to implement ignoring areas that aren't marked for storage. I don't think I did that. So you come here. Yeah, come with me. Come with me. So I just told this guy to join my colony. Which is just kind of like, you know, I think it'll be a bit more flavorful when the game, you know, is actually real. But we're going to go over here, and I'm just going to tell him to forage within a radius, and we're just going to say forever. Sure, yeah. So, bro, no. No, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Oh my god, it's broken. Okay, yep, it's broken. Okay, well, can you do other things then, sir? Let me see if he can still haul. Like I said, I'm refactoring the ECS system, so he's a bit broken. He's a bit broken. Okay, let me drop some of these, see if he can do hauling. I'm back here. Okay, do task, haul anywhere. No, okay, he doesn't want to do anything right now. Oh, because I didn't. Okay, hang on. We can fix this. I know what to do. I didn't change the. What is it? What is it? The spawner. Let's go to the spawner. We're gonna put colonist warrior in there. I didn't add any of the task handlers, so he has no idea how to do any task. Yeah, task handlers is fucking null, is what I would say. So let's copy the old one. Okay, now he's got task handlers. Chop trees is empty, right? He doesn't know how to do that yet. Okay, let's try again. We'll do a new seed as well. New seed as well. 644, 645. Not gonna lie, following looks good. Not too far, not too close. Well, thanks. Didn't really try that hard. Just kind of, that was the first pass at it. Okay, this is, I like this, like, because you can see the blending between the two different terrain noises very, very nicely here. So this is like a, like I put these border mountains around every zone to give the zones like a nice contained feel to them. Kind of like World of Warcraft zones, rather than like Minecraft or Valheim biomes that just kind of seamlessly blend from one to another. But this is a really good example of how the different parameterized terrain noises can blend together here. So like this one's all like super flats. Like I have some parameters that I can set to kind of dictate that. This zone has a different set of parameters where it's really spiky and stuff, but they match up. That's because I can basically do like a, for every vertex in a terrain chunk, of which there are a lot, you can do like a per vertex weighted average blend to each neighboring chunk noise, which was also a pain in the ass to get working, but it works. You gotta make this online like multiplayer type thing. Yeah, I do want it to be multiplayer. I do want it to be multiplayer. Okay, let's try colonist tasks now. Yeah, just give me, we got that set. Yeah, just give me one. Just scrolling for an hour, I can finally rest. Yes, sure. Sleep well, my child. Sleep well. Okay, now I gotta find the guy. Where did he spawn at? Hello, sir? Oh, look at that cave. Oh, that's so neat. Look at that cave. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay. We're gonna follow the cave. Change of plans. Well, does this go anywhere? It does. Okay, so here's a really cool moment. Here's a really cool moment. So you'll see, let me talk about the zone design a little bit here. So, like I said, each one of these different colors is a different zone. And so what I do is I surround each one with mountains because I want like a nice contained zone, right? Like I want it to be like if you ever played World of Warcraft and also played Minecraft, I think you'll know what I mean in the difference of the zones, right? Like the Minecraft zones are just kind of there. They're not really grounded in the world. You know, like the jungle biome is always the jungle biome. It doesn't have a name. The desert biome doesn't really have a name. They just kind of exist, right? And then they just kind of, they seamlessly blend from one to another, right? Like there's no physical boundaries between them. In World of Warcraft, the zones usually have mountains around them. Usually it's mountains, but it can also be like rivers and other things, right? And so, thank you for the sub. Welcome, welcome. And that creates this kind of vibe. It creates, for me, it creates like a really nice sense of exploration when you go from one zone to another. Because every zone has like really specific entrances to go from A to B, from like one zone to another zone. And that's what these white dots are for me. So these are actually breaks in the mountains, right? So that's how these are the entrances into each zone. And they're randomly placed, so there might not always be an entrance from zone to zone. And so one thing you can still get from zone to zone, you can't walk up these mountains. You cannot walk up these mountains. Wait, where did I just come from? I came from over here, right? I came from over here. So let me run back out of the mountain here. Grab some mushrooms. I'm in this zone, right? I see this little cave here. There's a mountain. I have no idea what's on the other side of that mountain, right? I can't walk up that. I could build some stairs up it, you know, if I had enough resources. I could do that. I could dig through. But right now my destructible terrain kind of doesn't work very well. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But in the future, you can potentially dig through the mountain as well. But then you can also just find like these random procedurally generated caves that will go from zone to zone. And so like you're in this like kind of super flat zone here. You don't know what's on the other side. But then when you go through one of these mountains, it's going to create this really cool, like the zone is just going to open up in front of your eyes. And to me, it creates like a really cool moment. Like if you're in World of Warcraft, imagine going from like the Barrens to Ashenvale. You go from like an African Sahara type zone to like this magical enchanted forest. And it's like a drastic change, right? And this happened to be the same exact zone. So that's not very exciting. It looped around, didn't it? But yeah, the point I'm trying to make, I think, still stands. Sometimes there's these little caves that can go from one to another. I love the Warcraft inventory sounds. Always adored that old leathery sound. Yeah. I'm using all their sounds as like placeholders and stuff. Private account, welcome in. Morning, private. I'm just glad to see a step away from instanced-based cells. Now, what do you mean by that? I actually have no idea what you mean. Have you ever played Zomboid? I'm enjoying the hell out of it. No, but it's been on my wish list for quite some time. Where's that? Where did that? I spawned a colonist, and I have no idea where he went. So we need to find him. Oh, there he is. Okay, let's see. Can you gather things for me now? Okay, join my colony. Welcome aboard. Now get to work. Just there we go. So he's gonna gather these little mushrooms here for me. Nice. Okay, so he's got nowhere to store them. So I'm gonna create like a little stockpile zone here. What is your... Okay, my velocity processor needs work, because now he's just floating. Anyway, go haul things. Now he's gonna put his mushrooms in here. Yay! Mushroom. And then I can also store things in this little stockpile zone. And so when he gets hungry, he can also like grab the mushrooms from here as well. We worked on that. We worked on that. It built up the vibe, at least gave me memories of Breath of the Wild. Was prepared to say I was here. That's good. Fate moment, yeah. And then I can get him to construct for me as well. So if I like place down some thingies here. Hey, go do task, construct anywhere. So he'll just go start building for me. I don't know why I had that breakpoint there. There we go. And so I think, is he hungry now? What are you doing? Oh, he's running to 0-0 for some reason. Some of his logic is not correct. Oh, he's going to, oh no, he's going to build my stairs that I placed. I didn't even, I forgot about that. That's so funny. And he just ran through the stairs to get there. Yeah, he has no collision on him, so. Are you stuck now? Yeah, he might have been stuck. Okay. Let me show off the AI generated quests as well here. So I'm going to generate a quest. And this is Gareth Miller, who is a 30-year-old male human warrior who was intelligent and compassionate. And Gareth was a compassionate and intelligent child. He possessed a natural curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. Gareth also used his considerable strength and intellect to protect those he cared about. It's kind of a boring backstory, to be honest with you. But, so he should be... There is an API request being made right now to the Gemini API. And it looks like that just returned here. So, the Whispering Blight. And I guess my name is Lackland Shadow. So he says, Lackland Shadow, the wind whispers secrets, do you hear them? I have a trouble feeling in my bones, a chill that goes deeper than the autumn air. My village Oakhaven has been plagued by a creeping blight upon our crops these past weeks. The harvest is failing, and the livestock are growing thin and listless, I ask you. Lackland Shadow, can you use your gifts to commune with the spirit of the land around Oakhaven and discern the source of this blight? I will escort you and protect the village, and protect you so you can focus on your communion and compensate you appropriately for your time and knowledge. And so we have like our quest entry up here that's worded from the perspective of the player. We have some objectives that have been encoded. And so like I told Gemini, I dumped my entire item database along with everything that's spawned in the world into like a prompt, a Gemini prompt, which is like they have the million context window, which is important. And I just told it to generate me super one-shotty, not very high fidelity. I just said, hey, generate me a fantasy RPG video game quest and put it in this JSON object. And it does so pretty reliably. And so I can deserialize that JSON object, and I give it like objectives that it can do, like talk to, explore, interact, like defeat is also one. 10 gold for level 1 quest. Yeah, I know. I'll probably have to set those rewards. Like it doesn't understand numbers very well, it turns out. So yeah, I'll probably have to come up with some sort of curve to get those ones. But yeah, I really just need it for flavor. And then I get some dialogue options here. What have the village elders tried? They blessed the fields, checked the wells, and followed the traditional routes. Nothing has worked. They've even sent word in advance of you knowing you have a strong connection to the land of spirit. Yeah, so you can select these and get a little bit more information, right? Accept the quest. That is the wow accept quest sound. Yeah, that's like an AI generated quest. So like instance-based cells would be like where you have free roam in the main world, but all the shit you do. Oh, yeah. Like lobby games. Yeah. Instance-based like zones and stuff. Yeah, I get what you mean. Cuts you off from it. So it's not fully open world. Yeah. Fire up WoW again. Yeah. Yeah, the sounds are good. The sounds are good. Now, I don't have any enemies, but I can just use this guy as a target dummy. You know, we got a fireball, we got a dot, I can like... Got an aim shot. There we go. I can, we got like a frost nova. He's not actually gonna... Well, that Did that completely miss him? That might have completely missed him. I got dual wield, which was actually like a giga pain in the ass. Yeah, he dead now. He giga dead. Can I freeze a dead guy? No. Okay. But yeah, that's a little bit about the world. Usually I have a bunch of NPCs and stuff spawned around, but working on that at the moment. We're working on that at the moment. We'll try one more seed to see if we can get like a cool looking one. But then I need to get back to work here. 646. No, boring meadows. Oof. Usually there's a few different colors as well. I guess there's an example of that. A different color. You iced him though? I did. He wasn't working hard enough, so, you know, I had to take him out back. What game is this? It's just a game I'm working on. This is just a game I'm working on. It has no name yet. It has no name yet. Hey, I just seen your channel for the first time. Can you explain what your game is and what you're doing right now? Well, what I'm doing right now is just talking about the game. So you came in at the right time. The game will be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo. So I'm thinking something like Vanilla WoW plus RimWorld plus Hades. With procedural destructible terrain. Here's the procedurally generated world here. Here's just one small part of that world. And we have different zones and different biomes. Right now I only have like 2. Right now I have this foresty zone and then I have the meadows zone here. So you're gonna run over to this forest. But yeah, run around in the world, you level up, pick from 3 random abilities every few levels. There's different classes to choose from when you create your character. Every class has unique abilities and a lot of which to choose from. This isn't one of those games where you just have like 4 abilities and an ultimate. I hate that. You'll have a ton of abilities to choose from during combat. The entire world will be running at all times. That's why I'm building the ECS system today is what I'm working on. Some performance optimizations for that. And so I actually run all of the entities on background threads. So if you build a colony right here and you run, like I'm only generating, like the radius we saw was only about this big. So if you build a colony here and then I run, and then you run all the way over here, like your colony is still going to run. And you know, if you send someone out in the forest to chop trees, they'll have to run all the way over there and chop the tree down and bring the wood back every time. There's no faking it. There's no simulation, like there's no sphere of influence like a lot of games do. I don't turn off the entities. I will have some that are just like, you know, the entities that just like kind of exist just to fight, you know, they'll just wander around. The wolves that wander around in the forest, you know, I can turn those off, right? But the colonists will be online. And then they'll have like a generation invoker type radius, or like they'll turn on all the other entities when they walk near it, which is a system I'm going to work on after I finish my ECS system. And so one example I could show like the whole world, like you see all this stuff over here. Like if I hit P, this is showing the nav mesh. The shaded part is the nav mesh. And so I actually take the raw data output from my procedural terrain compute shaders, which is just like some arrays of indices and vertices, and I actually store that data in a type of spatial data structure called like a bounding volume hierarchy. And this is effectively how collision works under the hood. I'm just kind of like cutting out the middleman and saving a lot of memory. But the reason all this stuff is still spawned, and the reason I still have the nav mesh here, even though the mesh isn't there, like I'm not just setting it to invisible, I delete the mesh. I delete the terrain. The terrain doesn't exist other than in raw data, so I'm saving a lot of memory that way. And the nav mesh still knows that there's terrain here, as does PCG, which is the framework within Unreal Engine that I'm using to spawn all of the stuff here procedurally. And so it still know, even when, like, even over here, like I haven't even generated, I didn't generate the terrain yet. It's not generated yet. It's not like built. And it still knew where to place it because I built my own PCG nodes, and I can query that spatial data structure and do line traces against it. That's what they're for, right? Like if you don't store vertices in a spatial data structure, you have to iterate over every single triangle and check for a triangle line segment intersection. Incredibly inefficient. Store it in a bounding volume hierarchy, you only need to check the local triangles, right? You need to check a small subset. Very, very efficient. And so for everything you see spawned, all this stuff that's spawned on the terrain, That is using that data. That runs using that data. Now, I need to run that on the background thread because it does get, you know, for the scale that I'm doing it at, which is the entire world, it does get expensive. So as I'm running around, you probably notice some frame hitches. That's what that's from, mostly. So some optimizations to be done there, but a lot of it's done already. So there's zero collision here. Zero collision turned on, which is, you know, saving data, saving memory. And my entities will still be able to move around here because the nav mesh is still here. I can still do pathfinding here. The entities themselves, they don't have collision on them. Because what I do is I line trace, I have a velocity processor. I had to like rewrite, I've rewritten a bunch of stuff, but like I have this velocity processor that apparently needs some work because I've broken it. But what it does is it does some of these line traces, right? I have it to do here because they're jittery when they walk up slopes, but it's like I trace in the direction of their velocity, I trace down for gravity, I do some reconciliation to determine where they should be sliding along the ground, right? And it's all happening without collision turned on. Like these line traces just use that spatial data structure that I have. Very, very efficient. I can run entirely on the background thread now. Because when you have collision turned on in Unreal Engine, it has to reconcile any movements on the game thread, which means you're bottlenecked. You're very, very bottlenecked anytime something moves, right? So turn that off. Wrote my own. Now we're good. Now we're good. Look at this giant ass fucking cave. The strong potential, a lot stronger than a lot of shit coming out today. Yeah, it's very hopeful as well. So I've got about 5 more years before anything comes out. Freezes me out. AAA developers are slowly but surely beginning to lose private creators like you. Love to see it. Yeah. Indie is king. Like, you know, AAA is too safe and formulaic now because like, games were good back before they started making money. You know what I mean? Like, once they started making money, the money people started pulling the strings. And they destroyed it. But yeah, indies are able to take risks that AAA can't. That's where innovation comes from. Can you run up steep hills? No. No, you cannot. I mean, sort of steep, not like super steep, right? Like it stops at some point. Your ability to run up hills. Soul concept seems cool. How long have you been working on this? Are you solo dev? I am solo. It's my first game. Never worked on games before. I've been working on this for almost 3 years now. Very quickly approaching 3 years. The passion is coming back, essentially. Well, the passion was always there at the indie level. It always has been. I think gamers just didn't, there wasn't really a mechanism to find the indie games very well, right? And AAA still had some juice in it, you know? They still had some juice in what they were doing. And then now people are realizing that, like, hey, Ubisoft kind of fucking sucks. You know, you get some really great games that come out at the indie level. Like, I think a lot of gamers are starting to realize that, like, you don't need fancy graphics for a game to be good. Like, I think we've kind of superseded that concept at this point. So yeah, that is a little bit about the game. But I need to get back to work. So let's go back to the ECS system here. Let's go back to the test level. What was I testing? So the fucking velocity processor is broken, which is very annoying. Because it's a big one. I would like to not have to fix that. That would be nice. But I think I was trying to... Oh, yeah, I was trying to test the LOD entity data. So we're going to just run 2000, and my target processor is really bad. So this is going to be really slow. But we're just doing it to see if there's any exceptions that happen. I need to run the target processor on the background thread. The target processor, you know, for each entity has to check every other entity within its local chunk to determine if it should target it or not. Consider its, you know, like faction data and stuff like that. So yeah, this is going to be very slow, but I just want to see if we crash or anything like that. So far, so good, honestly. It's like 1 frame per minute right now. So we're already better than most games. Okay. I think we're still spawning things. Yeah, I can see some still popping in. So this is 2,000 entities right now. And if I turn off the target processor, it actually runs appropriately, but we're just testing. Okay, I wonder if I could just kick that to the background thread and see what happens. Yeah, let's go ahead and stop that. Can it even register my inputs? Like, I don't even know. There we go. Okay. So let's move the target processor to the background thread. Now, I guess the cool part about this refactored system here is that I can do background shenanigans myself now. I don't need to use the subsystem for that. So let's go async task. If I can spell async task. Okay, I haven't typed yet today. We want on background thread. We want the background thread. What do we want here? Give me a lambda. Find this, of course, and we will want to pass in all this stuff probably by ref, right? So yeah, we'll just go pass everything in by ref as well, and then grab that. We're gonna wrap it, and then B is processing. God, the nesting is gonna be horrible. So B is processing needs to be set to true once we get here. And then once we get done, we need to do another async task calling back to the game thread to set B as well. No, we can just set B as processing. I don't care if it's on the game thread or not, actually. Now, I guess the problem is this gets called multiple times. Oof. Yeah, so this gets called multiple times now because of the archetypal system. So it's actually going to be maybe conflicting, and there's going to be multiple async tasks. Oof. Okay. Let me think about that for a second. Let me think about this for a second. So there's going to be multiple calls for this. Yeah, that's tricky. So now I could do something like... maybe I would need to either store the tasks that are running and check if they're both done. Does this return anything? No, it doesn't. So I would need to use the UE tasks launch, right? That returns a thing. Yeah, that returns a task. So I could check both tasks at the end. Add the task to this target processor. Check if they're all done. You know, that kind of thing. Which means B is processing could be set to true here, but this could get called with nothing, or rather not get called. So I think setting processing to true inside the body of the function is the better choice. Yeah, let me hit it with a using namespace UE tasks, and we'll do the launch. Now that needs a bit different parameters here. Got to give it like a debug name, and then the body of the task, and then we give it the thread that we want it to run on. Background normal. Yeah, we could do something like this, and then this returns like an auto task. What type is this now? It's a T task. T task. So I could just have. Let's open up the header over here. So we could just have a little like list here that we add. We launch, we add it, you know, check if they're all done or something, right? So can we check if task like is done? Is completed? Yeah, we can. Okay, we can. Is completed. Okay. So let's do a T array of T task. Oh, I have to do the there we go. Running tasks. Do you need to be templated? Yeah, so was it void? We want to do running tasks add here. This is getting, it's getting so nasty. Was that not right? Oh no, the task is actually, the task is here. Okay, so we've added the task in there. And then I guess at the end of the task itself, bool B is done with all tasks. That is not correct, AI. You failed me. You failed me. And my disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. So I have to write it myself now. This was not the promise that I was given. Task. Okay, if task dot is completed, if it's not completed, set this to true actually. So initialize that to true. If any of them are not completed, B is done with all tasks equals false, and we can break from the loop there. And then if B is done with all tasks, we can kick back to the game thread. We can just use an async task for this, a little bit simpler. Give it the game thread. Give it a lambda, capturing this, and then B is processing equals false. And then that way we don't kick off multiple when we don't need to. And then we need to clear running tasks at that point as well. Yeah. Okay. Rebuild. We will need to rebuild that. Okay, so we're going. We'll see what issues could happen from this. I'm wondering if I need to do anything special to make sure the task is like marked as completed. Oh, and I need to make sure that that's, yeah, I think one issue that's going to happen here is like, if this is empty, would it be empty? I don't know. I don't think it would be empty at this point. I'm wondering if running tasks is going to be empty, then we're just going to mark it as true immediately. And then there's going to be multiple target processors running on the background thread, which is just going to be completely unnecessary and probably cause issues anyway. Now, do I have write locks on things? No, I don't. So there's probably going to be a good number of exceptions that'll happen here. CPP in this day and age. Yeah, game dev. You are one of the few who have realized that it's CPP and not Python, which you know, I always found to be quite silly. Okay, so let's run. Should we just run it with one entity at first? Let's just do one entity and see what happens. Give me one guy. Okay, he's running. We're running, good. Okay, we'll try it with 2K. 2,000 entities. That's like that's my benchmark. Okay, so yeah, running a lot better already, I think. Oh no, we're super hitchy. It's better than it was. It's better than it was. No exceptions yet, which I'm actually surprised. Okay, fuck it, we'll fucking trace it. Send it, boys. I did not expect that to work. I did not expect that to work the first time. So we'll see if this is actually running. Yeah, we're going. We're just sending it. Now, if you could just find a way to detect third-party hardware software, you'd be a world hero or world-renowned hero to save gaming. Why is that? Is this a de novo comment? De novo or whatever? Which GPU are you using to dev? I mean, I didn't buy it specifically to dev. It's just the one that I've always had. It's a 3080 Ti. You don't need like a super crazy card to do game development. Oh, you just mean for cheating. Well, yeah, de novo helps with that. Okay, well, I hope it was actually running the target processor. It might not have been, and that's why it worked. I'm suspicious that it just wasn't even running. No, it wasn't. Shit! I knew it! I knew it was too good to be true. Okay, so did we ever... We probably never got here, right? Also, let me go there. Processing is true. Yeah, so I guess we'll check here as well, just to see. Give me all those. And we'll just run it with, we'll run it with one guy now. Okay, B is processing, true. Show me, what do we look like right now? This is target processor. We are processing. We'll go in here as well, I suppose. Next frame, entities. Yep, we have an entity, so just should get down here. Running tasks. What is running tasks here? It does have one in it. We have one. We have one. So yeah, I guess this is the concern I had, which is this task marked as completed? I guess not, because we're calling from within the task itself, which is inherently not completed. So it's really like I need to, if task, let's auto, we'll put a ref on here. And does this have an equality operator? If task not equal to this is not the self task though, so I don't know. This isn't even gonna work. So I basically need it to not pay attention to its current task. Is what I need. That's what I need. Developers and producers are struggling big time with certain exploits. Really? Or I think you're probably only talking about online games, which is a completely different beast. You know, local server games and you know, like Minecraft servers and stuff. If you're just playing a server like a Valheim server with your friends, you don't have to worry about that. Playing single player games, you don't have to worry about that. But still lots of great things to great fun to have out there. Okay, so what do I do about this? Because yeah, the task is not completed at this point. Can I mark it completed? Can I mark it? Well, I don't have the self task. I feel like it's really only an issue in PvP competitive environments. Yeah, exactly. Which yeah, are not the kinds of games that I play, so I'm not too worried about that. I don't really find those types of games very fun. Okay, so yeah, this isn't gonna work the way that I have this. What do I want to do here? So there are potentially multiple of these processors, of these for loops that are gonna happen. I think I need to write a specific for each loop for async stuff, actually. I think I need to go back to doing that. So let's write that. Which is basically, let's put this in a for internal, I think. I mean, it's not that much actually anymore. Like, this code is disgusting looking because of all the variadic template parameters. like look at this. This is so gross. Increment on first complete call. Yeah, we could use a counter. That wouldn't be a bad idea. But I think a more scalable way would be to actually just write a proper function for it. For each async scope name function, we would want a callback as well. And we essentially want to do the same thing. Get component array and stuff. I just kick all of this off to the background thread. It would be nice to just run this part on the background thread. But then I would kind of have to copy all of it. I mean, let's just copy all of it and see if it works first before I try to get too fancy with it, you know? I get too jiggy with it here. So we'll go async task here. So we'll run both loops in the same task, essentially, rather than doing multiple tasks and needing to check them. I think this will be scalable. It'll be a def more scalable here. Easier to use as well, all that stuff. So give me everything by ref here as well. So we'll do that. We're gonna do the async task. We run those. So this is happening synchronously within this task, and then we want to do if on complete, call it at the end there. And then we might not need an on complete for every. So we can initialize that to null pointer for those who don't care about it. We do, however, we do care about that here though. So we're gonna do for each async. I feel like a German trying to break the Navajo language. Okay, so this is gonna be the callback, and so this is like a fucking disgusting looking function signature here. So give it this, move that there, get rid of all this nonsense, get rid of this absolute nonsense, get rid of it. Yeah, that gets a lot simpler now. So B is processing true. We set it to true when this function first gets called, which it will be getting called from, well, we should set it to true outside of the function. Yeah, we should set it true outside of the function, just in case. Probably won't happen, but just in case. On complete, set it to false, yeah. Do I care about that being on the game thread? No, I don't think so. Okay, let's rebuild there. We'll see if that's enough. I probably should have just done that the first time. Bruce Malt, welcome in, my dude. How's it going? The issue I have is that it's in all titles that allow multiplayer comp, and no one can develop detection methods. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe you should try single player games. I think you'll find that they're a lot of fun. Baldur's Gate 3, very good game. Very good single player game. It recently came out. That kind of transcends the genre gap, which is a thing I found interesting about that launch, right? Like, a lot of people might not like turn-based combat or even like D&D, but then Baldur's Gate was just so good, and it didn't matter. A lot of people ended up liking it anyway, which I respect that a lot. Everyone ends up playing single-player co-op games in the end. Yeah, that's my jam for sure, right? I just want to play on a local server with some friends, you know, not local, but like, you know, some private server, we'll say. Managed to put in some work today. Pretty happy about that. Nice. Anything you'd like to share? Okay, so let's see how this goes. What are let's just go straight to 2K. And let me throw a breakpoint in the on complete. We want to make sure that's getting nothing to share at the moment. All good. Okay, so I hit something there. Okay, so now it's not getting hit now. Yeah, so it's not running anymore. It's not running, me lord. It's not running. It's not working. Oh, and I wonder if that's because Online cheating should be solved by sandboxing applications and run apps within individual VMs. Cheats will have to send events to VM, and VM can block and filter events. I think there's probably a way around that. I don't... If it were that easy, that would be done already. I think it's probably a bit more complicated than that, unfortunately. Hey, dude, just started watching, and I'm currently doing my capstone project for school. And can I get tips on how I can stay focused on doing it? I mean, that's a completely individual question, right? Like you gotta figure out what helps you stay focused yourself. And I think, you know, just eliminating distractions, finding how best you work. There's nothing, I don't think there's any specific tips I can give you. That wouldn't just be individual to me. So yeah, you gotta explore that on your own. Try not having a stream on in the background. not that I'm trying to kick you out or anything, but maybe watching a stream in the background. I notice that when I'm streaming, I'm a bit more focused because I'm not checking my phone so much. I'm not watching someone else's stream, you know. I am talking to chat, so there's some distraction there. But when I'm actually entirely focused, like on the stream and nothing else. So that's nice for me. And so what that's translated to off stream is that, you know, I put my phone aside sometimes. I put it face down. That's like my cue to not look at it. And sometimes I turn off the, you know, I watch streams a lot in the background, but I'll turn them off if I need to get some stuff done and just put on some, I find that music with no words in it, which is why I have the lo-fi beats here. Music with no words is for me, because if there's words in it, I focus on the words. Yeah, you're gonna have to explore that yourself. So I'm wondering if, oh no, this is doing a for each as well. Oh, I missed this. Okay, that's probably... Do I need to put it in here and just lock it? So I am running a background thread for each. Well, the thing is, I'm setting B as processing to true before I call this. And then when one of them finishes, it gets set to complete. But the thing is, like, it was probably 0 at first, so it never completed. Like I could just do something like this. And that would technically solve it, but now I'm accessing a lot of things on the background thread from the entity system, which is a little concerning. Because that means I'll need to put mutexes everywhere. Do I just pop a mutex in this bad boy? That's gonna mutex the entire function call though. that's gonna block the entire game. That's gonna be a thread lock if I do that. If I put this in a scope and do it, I guess it would be fine. What theme is this? Does it include the font? It looks awesome. You mean like my editor theme? Yeah, this is just Darkula, and I think any JetBrains product will have that. Get you with the music and the words on. I find myself being more focused when listening to classical music. There you go. I still drift from time to time, every time I feel stumped. Yeah, we'll figure out what's causing you to drift. Try to isolate the why. Yeah, what do I want to do here with this? What do I want to do here with this? Because this for loop is fucking me up, man. Fucking me up. Hi, what are you doing? What is the codes for? I don't understand. Somebody please help me understand. My dude, just hang out for a bit. You're not going to understand what I'm doing immediately, but I'm working on an ECS system for my game. So I'm working on trying to get a background threaded for each entity my processor's call is for each async, or a for each. I'm trying to make a background threaded one that works. And basically, the target processor I'm running on the background thread, it sets processing to true so that it blocks from running again. Because we don't want to run one when there's one already running. I need to set it to false once it's done. I'm trying to figure out a scalable way to do so. Oh, nice, man. The Darkula on VS, the font looks different than this. Yeah, VS kind of fucking sucks. Sorry about having to use that. You can use, if you're doing it for game dev, you can use Writer, and I would highly recommend Writer for game dev. Herman, thank you for the follow, my dude. Thank you. Well, I was wrong. Well, I did mention velocity in the past, so you were at least somewhat on track. I don't blame you for that. Yeah, so what I'm trying to avoid, like, so when you're doing things on the background thread and then something gets accessed from the game thread that's being accessed on a background thread, like if it's a read, or I guess these are reads, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I am adding archetypes and stuff, so if a write happens, then it's an issue. We would have a threading issue. So I kind of want to make the background task as tightly scoped as I can. And I guess it would be nice to, I wonder if I could write this in a way to where I just package everything up. That's probably just going to have more overhead at that point, though. That's going to be less performant. Deref and invoke. So this is like the actual function call, getting called with all the arrays and such. Why don't you like VS? I mean, it's slow as hell. The IntelliSense doesn't work very well. It is assaulting on my eyes. The UX of it is not very good. And, you know, specifically for game dev, Writer is made specifically for Unreal and Unity. So using something like Visual Studio, which is a generic editor, is never going to be as good as an editor that is made specifically for the thing you're working on. So Writer is it has a lot better autocompletes. It'll like literally highlight things that you're doing wrong specific to Unreal Engine. It has like some blueprint interops and stuff like that. Writer is in like, I ride a car. Riding a car. Riding a bike. There, not a car. You don't ride a car. Riding a bike. It's free for non-commercial use as well. But anyways, this background thread thing, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I wonder if I could, we loop over that. Let's maybe store, can I store these lambdas? Can I store a lambda in a list and have it still be fine? I guess I would need the component arrays as well. I guess I could put this, I could wrap this in a lambda. This might get ugly. Hang on. So this is going to be a T function computation for eaches. Okay, so we'll go auto. I think do something like this. And then for eaches, I can add that. Oh my god. Okay, so, and then for each. For each, in for each is. Okay, let's name it functions. I gotta name that differently. That's function call. So I copy the archetype. It is a pointer. Component arrays is a copy. What type are you? You're a tuple. Remove CVREF-T. Get component array returns a pointer. So I think that's actually fine as well to copy that. arrays archetype. So that one's already being passed in by ref in the outer loop, but that's gonna go away, I guess, is the issue. That's the issue. So let's do this. We're gonna forward archetype there. Do I need? I do need component arrays, and then let's also we'll do function by ref. We'll do function by ref because that one should still be there. Okay, functions call, function call. So for each function in functions, call the function. Conjunction function, what's your junction? Is that, does this work? I don't, is that even gonna compile? What have I done? What kind of demon worship have I done here? Interesting. It is compiling so far. It is compiling so far. Is coding in Unreal hard? I mean, it's a pretty subjective question, but yeah, it has its difficulties. C++ is not what I would call an easy language, but I do think Unreal Engine C++ is a little bit nicer than regular C++. I was learning HTML and CSS. I thought coding was easy. This is very hard. Yeah, there's levels to it for sure, but it's all just knowledge. So it's not like you just need some more knowledge to do things. Knowledge and experience, you know. Hi, I want to share something. Okay. Making game, yes. Making game is happening here. Okay, so that completely compiled. That's pretty nice. So we'll see if that actually can get called properly. We'll see if that can actually get called properly. Now, ooh, I should check to make sure the onComplete gets called. No, not a game. Wait, what? I'm not making a game right here? What am I doing then? Sorry, I thought I was making a game. I guess not. But I need to make sure the onComplete should get called. Oh, it'll get called regardless, actually. Yeah. It'll get called regardless. Okay. Let's see if that works. Okay, we have 2,000 entities. Let's spawn them. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's an issue. What is it? Okay. Functions. Functions is invalid. Oh, I need to copy that in. Yeah. We need to do that by copy. I guess we need to do everything by copy here. So onComplete probably as well. This, I don't know that I need this. So just functions and onComplete, which maybe I'll need to pass in this function by copy as well. Let's just do that to make sure. Okay, so rebuild that. Okay, so we'll have to rebuild 40 fucking things now. We want to play the game. You haven't even seen it yet. You came in here and said, what is this dude are doing? Hey yo, what do you do? Making game. No, not a game. We want to play the game. Oh, never change, YouTube Shorts. Never change. I'm working on refactoring my ECS system for my game. Okay. So right now I'm trying to get the target processor. Can we connect? I'm good, thank you though. It's really good thing I want to share. Yeah, that sounds like a grift, I'll be honest with you. Going into a random streamer's chat and being like, hey, I want to connect with you on X. I want to share something with you. Yeah, I don't really want to do that, I'll be honest with you. You're free to share whatever you like in the chat, though. Just please no links to things that are bad, because I'll have to ban you. And actually, you know what? No links in general. Let's just do no links in general. That's a can of worms. It's a can of worms I don't want to get into. As a software engineer, should I learn AI, ML, or just use LLM APIs? I'm considering it same as databases. I don't have to build them, just use them. I'm not exactly sure, like, what specifically you're asking about. Like, you're asking if you should understand how AI and machine learning work, or just use LLMs, like I mean, like, you should have a base understanding of how they work, right? Like, but you don't have to, like, go into that field if that's what you're asking. Like, no, there are different fields to go into. Like you say, with databases, like, you should understand how a database works in general. Okay, we're still not running the target processor, are we? Well, we crashed anyway, so wonderful. Well, we did run it. Okay, we did run it. Okay, we crashed because we ran it. Yay! Okay, the ability system entity data copy was the issue. So let's add our move semantic operators there. Copy and move operators. Yeah, hit me with all of that shit. And then we need the default. Okay, run it back. Run it back. Your game is just getting wishlisted already. Well, that's interesting considering I don't have a Steam page. Crazy though. Crazy how that can happen. But in this AI era, you are using your head to code. Why are you not using AI? I mean, I think you answered the question already. Because I would like to use my head. I would like to not be entirely reliant on not understanding things. I want to understand things. Like, using a statistical average generative AI is kind of antithetical to doing some things. Like, it's nice for some things. Like, you know, I use AI autocompletes in my code and stuff to help out. I do a prompt for code sometimes. Most of the time I don't, though. Just not understanding things. It's just like, if you're gonna do something that is worth doing, it's probably also worth understanding as well. And you're not going to understand it if you let AI do it for you. AI can help, but, like, you should do it yourself if you think that it's worth doing. And if you don't think it's worth doing, then why are you doing it, right? That's why I say, like, it's kind of antithetical to doing things. Sometimes, you know. Sometimes you just want to use AI to get some fucking cheap concept art that you don't care about, right? Just for placeholder stuff. Like, it's nice for some things. Okay, this is running. Ah, it happened again. Okay. The attributes. Interesting. Interesting. So when we copy T subclass of attributes, now I need to split up my entity data a lot better. This is probably the realm that we're getting into now. So when I first did my ECS system, I was kind of willy-nilly about everything, just so I could get some stuff up and working quicker. And I've put, like, this attribute set is just a T array of T subclasses of which I only ever need for spawning. So both of these two things I only ever need for spawning. I wonder, should I just add a reference to the ability system component on this data? Can we make a AAA title with HTML JavaScript? Yeah, yes. I'm gonna go with yes, just because I want to see that happen. I think that's the kind of chaos I think the game industry needs. Yeah, I think so. Interesting. So now we actually get a proper, like, stack trace here, which is nice. But why didn't this, like, let me go back to, what do we see here? Let me see. Which one would we have done here? Attributes. UE5 or Unity in your opinion? Well, I am using Unreal Engine right now, so that I think should probably answer it. I think you're missing a for loop there. Thank you. Yeah, very helpful. So I feel like the array should be getting copied properly here. I'm wondering if this is throwing an exception because it was already bad by the time it got here, or if this is where this data is bad. The debugger does not always tell the truth. So I wonder if when we add entity data, we should check it out. Let me ask you, aren't you getting confused answering us while coding? Well, that's my secret. I'm always confused. I've just learned to live with it. It's an affliction, really. Let's check out what we look like here. Let's rerun this. I kind of want to inspect, and ability system happens to be the first piece of entity data that gets added, so that'll be kind of nice here. We're going to breakpoint there and take a peek at the data as it goes in. See what it looks like, see if it goes invalid beforehand. Okay, let's take a peek. Okay. What are we adding right now? We are adding some ability system data. Perfect. Destination archetype. You shouldn't have any data on you. You don't. Cool. Let me look. Move entity to here. Copy from. Let's take a peek at that function. Of course, I can't take a look afterwards, can I? Well, I can check out the source probably already from here, right? Where is the current record? Let me see the current record here, which is it's an empty record. Okay. So we will need to. Well, shouldn't that already have gotten? Well, it'll be here. So go here. And then, so now the destination archetype, which is this, should have like an uninitialized value here. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, that, yeah, that'll do that. That'll do that. So I really need to make a better distinction between entity data that I need to like stick around and be like editable and stuff versus entity data that I'm just using to like spawn defaults. Because that's what these properties are for that I'm having issues with right now. So like this is the ability system entity data, and really all I need from here is the ability system component that gets spawned from this given class, and it gets spawned with those attributes. That's really it. So it's like, we'll probably get better cache locality there as well. I mean, probably, definitely. We definitely would. So I should make a better distinction there. But there's going to be so many entity data types that I have to add and register and all that bullshit. Ugh. I wonder if I should just like not register those. Would that be, is that a thing? Is that a thing I could do? Where's my spawner at? Give me the entity, there it is, I see it. Give me the entity spawner. Get rid of this. Friendship ended with that code. Now this dynamic property, this dynamic property, reading the property name and checking if it's a property that I want to add data from is now my friend. Okay. Prop type name. What do I want to do here? So maybe add entity data if it's an invalid data. Frank, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that, dude. Welcome in. Welcome into the stream. And you as well for the follow on Twitch. I'm not even going to begin to try and pronounce that name, but thank you. I appreciate it nonetheless. So yeah, if it's not a valid type, I guess we get here, right? And so it does nothing. Nothing happens. little bit of wasted effort, but no one's the wiser. I'm wondering if I just shouldn't, any data that is not, that I don't want to stick around, I just don't add it, because I don't want it to pollute my fucking entity data. It's just going to take up memory that I don't need, essentially. But then what do I do with it? Because I need it for things like init proxy actor is a good example of why I need it. I spawn ability system component. That's where I grab the entity system data, the ability system data, sorry. And I grab those attributes right here. I grab the class right there and I spawn it. I mean, maybe for proxy actor, maybe I pass in the original archetype class and we use the CDO for that kind of stuff. Grab the CDO, use all the defaults. Yeah, that could be, that doesn't sound too bad. Now, the only other issue I have with that is my entity archetype, which is, this is like the editor version of the archetype. There's like 2 archetypes, which is a little confusing. But I created this fucking awful thing where I put every piece of entity data I have in a separate property. Why did I do this? Why wouldn't you just use an array, Hydron? Well, that's a great question, and I'm glad you asked. I did have that here. I did have that. The problem with that is that you can't have, first of all, it's a data asset, right? You can use data assets as well, but data assets don't have inheritance. There's no hierarchy to data assets. You can't subclass them, in other words. So put that in a U object, great. Now, if you have a T array and a U object, you can, you know, subclass the U object in the editor. And so let's take a peek. Oh, it's broken right now. Okay, let's rebuild so we can take a peek at that. But what you'll notice is you're going to build, for me at least, I'm going to have very hierarchical entities, right? Like I need a colonist, I need like a warrior colonist, I need a mage colonist, you know, I need a ranger A colonist, ranger B colonist. And like they're going to be mostly the same, but maybe just have a few different pieces of default equipment, right? So if I need to go back and change something on the root colonist, like let's say I subclass all those, so there's a nice hierarchy, and I'm using the array. If I go back and change the root colonist, it's not going to propagate to any of the children because it's in an array, and the children have already updated the array. So the inheritance is broken because of the array. So that's why I did it in individual properties. It's also nice to have t-instance struct there. That's a little bit nicer, so you don't get a big list of things, but mostly just for inheritance. So that way, if a subclass overrides one little piece of, you know, like the actor that's spawned or something, then I can go back and change the root colony entity data on the parent class, on the rootmost class, and it'll propagate to all the children. So that's why I'm doing that. And so here's what the entity data call an entity. What am I trying? Colonist, warrior, or something. Is it this one? Oh no, it's not. It's not that one. That's the old one. Here's the new one. So here's what it looks like when you're setting up an entity. Here's like all the data. And collapse some of these, but like it's like things like the faction that they belong to, right? If I wanted to change that, I'd have to go through and do that on every single individual colonist that I had, rather than just like a root one. So that's why I have them in separate properties. But that's the issue I have with like splitting this data up even more, is that I'm gonna have to manually add all these fucking properties. Now it is nice because I did write the spawner code to dynamically at least read those properties. Anything with the word entity data in it will get properly used. So that's nice. Bro, if I have a misaligned CSV, how can I clean it? Now, Natish, what led you to, I'm curious, I don't have the answer for you, first of all, but I'm curious what led you to, instead of typing that into Google, asking someone who's doing game dev. It is not C#, it's C++. What script are you using to make the camera follow your cursor? OBS zoom follow mouse. If you Google that, you'll find the script that I use. So that's the only issue I have here. Here's the game I'm working on, though, guys. Let's try new. We'll try a new seed. So RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural, destructible terrain, and AI-generated quests. So here's it's kind of, this is a boring seed, man. I've had all boring seeds today. But yeah, this is what the game. Oh, there's some mountains there. Okay, okay, okay. Little interesting. Where is that mountain at? Okay, it's over there. We'll run that way. See, I'm trying to refactor, do some ECS system refactors. It's a nice little cave there. Nice. Nice. Nice little mountain there. Here's the world map. It's got a bunch of different zones on it. Yeah, just a quick for those who just showed up. Ooh, nice big cave there. Ooh. Now, is there a way into this zone? I could go that way. No, I don't think there is. Don't think so. I don't think so. So yeah, this is what I'm working on. Here's my dog. Moxie, you just hit your head on the mic. Why'd you do that? The world is being generated by AI. No, that is not AI-generated quests. The quests are. What are you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there's all the caves and stuff. We got some cheese caves. These are the cheese caves. And then we have noodle caves as well. I don't know, is there any noodle caves that connect to this one? I don't think so. I don't think so. But here's like a noodle cave. Here, oh, here's a cheese cave that connects to a noodle cave. Yeah. You're planning to make a search bar for seeds. Search bar. What do you mean by that? I mean, I'm planning on letting you input a seed when you create the world. Like, this is not like the this is not the main menu or anything, so. Oh, here's a good seed. There we go. There's a good one. The dog's name was Moxie. It's a she. Where did my music go? Hello? Hello, please? Hello? Spotify. I apparently fell through the world. What is happening right now? Spotify, please play. Spotify can't play this right now. If you have the file on your computer, they're all on my computer. They are all indeed on my computer, Spotify. Already. Skip. No thank you. No thank you. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, don't fall, don't fall. Yeah, some of these spots need to be ironed out. You know, the terrain is a little difficult to traverse in some spots. As you can see. As you can see. Yeah, this is a nice seat. It's like, I like all the variable heights. That really makes it interesting to me. Got a red zone over here as well. It's an interesting pattern that occurred there. So yeah, that's a small peek at the game, but we need to get back to testing. You're gonna have to make the night at the museum Pharaoh. I don't think so. Some kind of channel. I was trying to find the clip when I was picturing that in my head so that people could understand what I'm talking about, and I couldn't find it. So if you find a clip where he says that, I will fucking do that, but I couldn't find one. But yeah, I do want a button that I can press that says that. I also want a Hagrid, I should not have said that. I want one of those as well. I like the small floating islands personally. Yeah, I'll probably leave them in. I'm not too, I don't care about them too much, you know, from like a, you know, players building on a floating island type of standpoint. Can you explain the game for us newcomers? I'm really interested in knowing about it. RPG Colony Sim Roguelite, so picture like Vanilla WoW plus RimWorld plus Hades. So you level up every few levels, you get to pick 3 random abilities. When you die, you go back to level 1, all your abilities and stuff reset, but the world will stay the same. Any colony that you've built will still be there. Your colonies will get raided. There'll be other NPC ran colonies in the world that you can interact with. You'll have different skills for like construction and foraging and mining and tree chopping and all that, as will your colonists, and you can give them commands and priorities and stuff. There'll be a tech tree, of course. Is there a way to highlight areas that allow the character to stand still with the terrain? That way you can see what areas need to be ironed out. Is this coded? Yes. I'm not sure what the alternative is to that. But, I don't know what you mean by highlight areas that allow the character to stand still. That doesn't make sense to me. Or ironed out. I have no idea what you're talking about, Derek. Sorry. And that's probably my fault. But yeah, back to this like default data versus runtime data distinction. I would really like to not have to manually add them here. That would be really nice. But that would allow me to... It's like, what data is needed at runtime, what data is just needed for spawning. That's the difference, basically. I definitely don't want to do that as a part of this commit. So maybe let's commit this. And before I do, I think I can delete this, right? No usages. The only usage is there. Is this used anywhere? Is this used anywhere? Okay, we can delete this. Goodbye. Okay, let me rebuild, see if that compiles, and we'll potentially... Just as I figured. What is that there for? Just as I figured. Okay. Okay, let's get some fucking work done. Let's get some fucking work done. Okay, let's prepare this commit. Okay, so this is going to be refactor. Oh god, refactor from entity data pools to entity archetypes. That's what this is going to be once this compiles. And then I guess we're just going to start. The target processor doesn't really work at the moment, and I wish I could get to the root issue a little better with this like shallow copying. That would be nice to know, but I already know that I need to delete some of the or split out some of the entity data. So I think I should just do that and get around the issue for now and wait for it to pop back up. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure what else I can do about copying this list of T subclass up. I don't know why it's not being copied correctly in the first place. Isn't that what I was going to check out? That's why I put the breakpoints there. So at least I can narrow down where it happens, but it's just like it's either going to be here or there. Set data, probably. Set or copy data. How you said the terrain is uneven, is there a way to highlight the different areas? Like where the character doesn't fall down and can stay in place? As in like for the player to see where the slope is? I mean, sure, there's a way you can just, you know, use shaders and stuff, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to, like, put, you know, paths and stuff on the, like, if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly, like, I wouldn't want to just, like, highlight that for the player. It's not, that doesn't seem very necessary. What I was talking about is, like, I just need to work on the terrain noise a little bit. No, for me, to iron it out. I mean, I don't really need to see them. Like I already can see them, but like it's all procedural, so that's not going to help me anyways. Right? Like the work is in changing the terrain gen parameters. Right? It's not like I don't know if you just popped in or nothing, but it's procedurally generated terrain, so it's not like I can't just go in a level sculptor and iron it out, making the pathing smooth out. Yeah, I can't just do that. Like it's all mathematically generated, so I have to change the code to do so. The terrain gen parameters is what I would need to change. So seeing whether or not the terrain is smooth or not. First of all, I already can see it just by looking at it. And that doesn't help me, like, you know, solve the issue really. Do I need to move temp here? No, because this is a copy. And I don't want to move temp because then I would be getting the default object one. Okay, yeah, so nothing to do. Yeah, I'm just going to start splitting these up. And honestly, the runtime ones don't even need to be on the archetype, actually. Found it? Oh, no way.
The speed and efficiency of the 5.
That's an ad, Jared. What the heck? I'm kidding. No way. No shot. Oh, yeah, fuck.
Too much going on here. You're evil, you're asthmatic, you're a robot. And what is the cape for? Are we going to the opera? I don't think so. Sorry. Bye.
Oh, God, that's fucking good. Okay, hang on. Bookmark that. Yeah, put that in game dev. Okay. Hell yeah. Thank you, Jared. Fuck yeah. Gonna put that on a button stat. And what is the cape for? Are we going to the opera? I don't think so. I love that. I don't know why. The Pharaoh just being like super down to earth and realistic in a museum full of like fantasy characters is so funny to me for some reason. It's like, you're evil, you're not. The breathing apparatus. But anyways, as I was saying, I don't even need, like, I don't need the like, if I split these out to a different one, I wouldn't actually need this to be added except at runtime. It's a distinguished Lisp. Yeah, it is very, he's a distinguished gentleman. He is. That's fucking hilarious. Oh, I love that clip. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate your service. But yeah, this would just get added like as a part of that process. I guess I would have to like hard code that though, wouldn't I? I guess I kind of already am though, in a way. Okay, maybe putting these just in the same file would make it a bit easier as well. But first of all, we can delete that. We're just gonna get rid of that entirely. And do I need all these move? Let's delete these for now as well. Delete those for now. So let's do ustruct f ability system entity data ability system defaults. We'll say hacking NASA. Yep. Sorry, NASA, had to do it. Okay, so we put that there. Why are you mad? Because it's not blueprintable. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so now target. Oh, I'm adding the okay, interesting. I forgot I put the target there. Target none. Okay, so that all stays the same. Okay, so then we would just need to change this to the defaults. Ability system, might as well change that to defaults. And let's pin that, and then pin spawner, close. Yeah, those are fine. And so then when we get to here, I would need to init proxy actor with the, I guess we pass in the mob spawn definition already, so that should have. Oh, I need the selected entry actually. Okay, so we need a the archetype. I just pass in the CDO. I already have it here. So let's just pass that in. Proxy actor, you will take in a U entity archetype pointer. Call it archetype CDO. And then we will need to, that's a U object. So should we just keep that around on the, should we just keep that around on the proxy actor maybe? Because that would give me information on like what he was spawned with. Yeah, that's maybe useful information. U property, the object pointer, U archetype, U entity archetype, archetype CDO. Call that in arc. Okay. In archetype CDO. And then we'll need to use that in all these different places, right? So archetype CDO. And I guess I need to check here. Archetype CDO or archetype CDO. Yeah, that. Why are you mad? Member isn't accessible. Oh, right. Okay, so these need to all be public. So I need to check if like who is valid. Okay. CPP, yes, correct. Correct. Oh, I need to like get the pointer to the fucking thing. Oh god, this is so annoying. Okay, so we'll need to do that basically. So get a pointer to F ability system defaults entity data. It's such a long name. Auto ASC defaults, which is maybe a better, shorter name. There we go. And then do I need that at all here anymore? Yeah, just to write to it, I suppose. But I need to, this is where I would want to add it to the entity, right? So we're actually going to do this here. This is where we would add entity data. Adding the entity and new data. So I would need to initialize this. ASC entity data equals ASC. There we go. Entity ASC entity data. That'll get dynamically added there. Okay. Do I like this? Do I like this flow? I guess let's first see if it works. Yeah, let's rebuild and see if it works. It should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. Don't see why it wouldn't. What are you building? I am refactoring my ECS system. I just switched from entity data pools to archetypes. We got that all ironed out and just committed that. Now I guess I'm working on splitting out some of my entity data that is purely just used for defaults, like spawning, basically. And then my entity data that's actually needed at runtime, that I don't actually need to add. I should probably put a comment somewhere. Let me say, I'm going to say entity data that is not registered is a no op intentionally, so that default type data that is not needed at runtime is not added to the entity. At runtime past spawning is not added to the entity. Okay. Okay, so we will need to... This is now set to none. Yep, set it there. Class, give it that. Let that back up. Okay, compile, save. Back to the test level. That is C++. Okay, yeah, so we are going to hit that quite a bit now. Yeah, get rid of all my breakpoints here. And really, I don't even need the ability system entity data anymore. I need that off the proxy actor. Like that can just live in the proxy actor's component arrays. And I think I should make those references too, so that I can control where the data is stored. Because otherwise, if they're just pointers on the actor in the traditional sense, then processor is going to be chasing. Is this C++? Yes. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to let this soak for a little bit. Yeah, we're going to let that soak. I hope the target processor is actually running properly now. We'll see here after this. Yeah, I just want to get a little tracy trace there. Traces. Okay, what do we got? The target processor was running. That's running suspiciously fast. Running suspiciously fast. Target processor. I'm wondering if the ability system data didn't. Where's my fucking target? There it is. I'm gonna guess the ability system data didn't get added properly. Ahem. So I guess I should check that. We'll keep proxy actor pinned up here too. So saveable attributes. Proxy actor. Yeah, maybe I should do a log here. And check. Add entity data. Well, maybe I'll just put a breakpoint there and then start digging into it, right? Yeah, we'll put a breakpoint there. Rerun it. Okay, so we got there. We will need to get here now. So dive in to here. That's not going to tell me anything. Get rid of that. Okay, so then we'll want to go here. Move entity to here. We'll want to go there. We will want to go there, maybe? Or probably just afterwards. Probably just after that. Not really going to show me anything. And then let's go here. Okay, so new component data. I do have some ability system data. Good. I should have basically just an empty piece of data now. Where is dest? Where is the destination array? Oh, I don't have it yet. So we've just added on. Oh, it's this. Right. So component arrays. I will need to find the data here. That does seem to be it. It is, yeah, so it's there. It's a weak object pointer. Nothing's populated yet. So copy from, I guess after this, should it be fine? No, because we're going to set data, so it should be here at the end. Now it's still an empty pointer, it seems. Oh dear. Set data. New data. I should have done that so I could see what the data actually is when it gets in here. So I'll have to rebuild, unfortunately. Unfortunately. I don't think so. Yeah, so put that breakpoint back there. We're gonna have to, oh shit. What? What is this? Cannot convert from const t to t ref. Does it really need to be const? I guess we're gonna copy it anyway. So it doesn't matter for that reason. Okay, so I am working on a video game. To explain a little bit about what I'm doing. I'm working on a video game. I have written an ECS system for my video game. An ECS system is a data-driven architecture that can very, very efficiently run thousands and thousands of entities. Now, my ECS system was leaving a lot of performance on the table, so I've been refactoring it over the past about 5 days now. And so now I am, just making steady performance improvements to that. And right now, specifically as a part of that system, I am trying to split out entity data that is needed just for default type things. Like when I spawn the entity, I need it to spawn with certain classes. And, I need, when I define what an entity is, I want to decide what classes it should be spawned with. Like what things should it be spawned with in its inventory? What things, what equipment should it be spawned with? I do all that in the editor. I define that in the editor. But that kind of data, I don't need that at runtime past spawning it, right? So I need to separate those pieces of data so that the system can run more efficiently. That is specifically what I'm working on now. I'm trying to test the ability system data specifically, which defines the ability system component. That's how all combat happens, as well as the attributes. These are things like health, mana, strength, stamina, food, sleep, that kind of stuff. And I am trying to debug a little bit about why it's not getting spawned with that stuff. Okay, the ASC is there. I love you. Thanks, man. Okay. Now, when I go here, it don't look no good. It don't look no good. Because we're gonna have to component arrays. It's probably this one. Data, yeah, it doesn't look good, but is that correct? I'm gonna put a log here, I suppose. Rebuild. If you looked at some of the stuff Epic is doing with UE Fortnite and the new scene graph stuff, seems like an interesting take on ECS. Also, hi, cool stream. Thank you. No, I haven't. I've tried out Mass, though, in the past, and I found it incredibly difficult to work with. So I wanted to make my own, both for flexibility and just better understanding what an ECS system should do and how it works, so that I can properly utilize it. But with Mass, like, it seems great if you can use some of the out-of-the-box functionality, which is like basically just like traffic and crowds, but I don't need any of that. And everything I need to do is like very arbitrary like data and stuff. So I would have to rewrite everything gameplay logic wise myself. And like the whole like traits. Okay, so this is valid. That is valid. Okay, so that is properly getting added. So why is my target processor being suspicious? We are getting here. How many entities? We have 20 so far. I mean, that makes sense. Why is my target processor running suspiciously fast? I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, we are fucking running. I love working with mass, but you're right, it's so convoluted, it's crazy. Yeah, what's been your experience, Sovereign? What are you using it for, first of all? Yeah, I found the whole traits versus fragments and the little archetype validator that it had, like, very difficult. Like, if there was not... I mean, and there's little documentation to begin with, but if there was not existing documentation that told me exactly what traits and fragments to add in what order, like, that would have been impossible to figure out. And it's like they conflict with each other, like they don't validate correctly sometimes, and it's like you want to add a trait is a collection of fragments, but you need a single fragment, but that fragment's already been added by another trait that you need. It's just like, dude, oh my god, like just let me add the data individually. Like it's I feel like my system's so much easier to work with. And with their archetypes, they had to be data assets, which means you have a flat entity hierarchy, which means you can't have a hierarchical piece of entity, a hierarchical entity archetype, which to me means if you ever want to change like the root, I was talking about this earlier, but if you want to change like the root value of like colonist behavior that propagates to all your different colonist entities, like you'd have to go in and change all of them individually, right? Or use the bulk editor or something. So it's like that was, I found that really difficult. And then I couldn't get it to not block the game thread. Like it had some async functionality, but it was all like parallel for async, or like it would run it on a separate thread, but it would block the game thread. And it's like, okay, I just need some things to arbitrarily run in the background, right? So that was my biggest problems with it. On top of just understanding the system to begin with, like, and if you look at the code for mass, holy fucking shit, there's like so many different classes. Like it is so engineered, and I'm sure they have good reason for that, but goddamn, I just need something that I can actually use, you know? And this was back before they did some updates, so I had to write like my own nav mesh, like task and stuff like that, because you had to use zone graphs back in like 5.1 or 5.2 whenever I was first using it. I guess now they have an experimental nav mesh task. But yeah, and then the state tree had to run entirely on the game thread, if I'm not mistaken, which was a big issue. Mine can run entirely on the background thread now, which I see as a huge bonus. I did copy their state tree processor for the most part. The only thing I have to do on the game thread is start the processor. Everything else, so here's the game thread tick that just starts it, but everything else happens on the background thread, which I find to be really nice. Well, right now it's not, but it was in the past. The biggest complaint is that mass gameplay requires gas and smart objects to be enabled, even though I don't use those. Yeah, I mean, again, so many systems to like hook into and stuff. And the smart objects, I think, have some I remember looking at them and I remember thinking like that there are some limitations, right? And I think it had to do with like how many things could claim a smart object or something like that. Like it was either only a one-to-many or a many-to-one relationship, and you couldn't have like a many-to-many or something. I forget what it was exactly, but the smart object, I was like, oh, I should use those. That sounds like what I want. Then I looked at it and I was like, oh. Like, I guess an object can have multiple slots, but you can't have... You have to define the slots specifically. You can't have dynamic slots. And there's also only one entity per slot or something like that. I forget what it was. I forget. Defining what ECS has always been kind of wishy-washy to me too. Everyone kind of has a different idea on top of the core idea, and writing your own usually seems like the right way to go because a lot of the existing stuff is almost too generic and confusing. Yeah, I think that's I wanted to be able to do like what was best for me. Is it like that's the flexibility part that I mentioned? So I 100% agree with you too. And you know, full disclosure, I use Gemini quite a bit for it. To get ideas for how the system should work and stuff like that, and you know, help me write a little bit of the nastier code, like this bad boy. When I used it, I just used the low-level stuff and rewrote everything else, like navigation movement. Yeah, and like at that point, I don't know. I just felt like I was fighting the engine when I was doing that, when I was rewriting those same systems. I think you and I probably did a lot of the same shit. That's some C++ ass C++. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the variadic template metaprogramming is disgusting. Disgusting. Emotional damage. Yeah, that too. What's happening here? Am I breakpointed somewhere? I forgot what we were doing. Yeah, okay, so I don't think the processor is processing. So does that never get marked as true then? Let me see. Are we getting here? We are. Okay, so it is like running. 70 entities, 30 entities. We are running multiple times. Darshan, thank you for the sub, my dude. Welcome in. Welcome in. 80, 40, 90. Yeah, I mean, it is running. What was the issue then? Are we just not getting past here very well? Are we alive? How can I check? Can I check the attributes from here? Of course not. Of course not. That would be too easy. Yeah, I'm wondering if just a lot of them are showing up dead for some reason. I mean, we're getting here. And so why isn't it running? Wait for them all to spawn real quick. Okay, they're all spawned. Give me a quick little tracey trace here. Okay, pause. How many velocity processors are running here? Or not velocity, target processors. Okay, it's there. Oh, am I not, what am I passing in? Target processor process entities. Okay, hang on. Why is this saying 0? Did I mess up the scope thing here? For each plus scope name. Oh, why? That's a weird way to do that. Oh, it works here. Scope name. Process entities. Entity iterate target. The for each Okay, so we have 12,000 counts of the inner function being called. Wait, entity iterate target. Where is that at? I'm so confused. Did it really only run it once? Can I go to that one invocation? Target processor. Okay. Process entities. Where's that one at? Huh. I mean, yeah, okay, so I guess that does happen on the game thread. So I think what I'll need to change is actually yeah, I'll maybe want some different ones or something. Yeah, that one's not super helpful. This one is the more helpful one. So there's one change I need to have made. But then it also feels like it only ran once, like. So I assume what's happening. Where's my entity system base? I assume we're still just not, it's still just never getting marked as not processing. Although it says it's false. Enabled true, false. Why was that? Why was there only one incarnation of that on the... Interesting. Incomplete will get called. Yeah, something hinky's going on here. I mean, maybe just the... I mean, there should have been... Should have been fucking multiple, though. There should have been multiple. Okay, run it again. Run. Let that run for a few seconds here. Okay, stop. Pause. Let me see. Okay, so there was only 6. Oh my god, it's horrendous. Okay, yeah, that's what I was expecting. That is what I was expecting. Where is it? Show me how bad it is. There it is. Oh my fucking god, look how bad it is. Oh dear. Yeah, that's a thick boy. That is a thick boy right there. Okay. Yeah, only 6 of those ran. You can see how it gets progressively longer here. They're running nice and contiguously though, which is interesting. But it was just using the same thread for that. Okay, I guess it's, yeah, that's running nicely. So let me get my little listy list here. And this is going to be a really shitty sample. But max MS 2682, Jesus Christ. 195.02177. So the max went down. And this is not a great sample size. This is not a great sample size. So just keep that there for future reference. There is a lot that I will need to do. Now, what is this? What is this? What on earth? Sparse array. What are we destroying here? My entity subsystem. 101? Oh, the generated file 101. Okay. Can I see which member? It's a T map. Oh, okay. So T map of archetype to archetype ID to archetype. Which, so wait, which map is that? I've forgotten here. That would be this map right here. Should I specifically empty that? Let's like manually clean those up. Those will be large. Query cache is probably fine. I mean, we'll empty it as well, but it's probably fine. Okay, but our background thread process is running well. Apart from that, it's running well. Apart from the destruction part, which I assume there's probably some background task that was in progress. Okay, so I do like this change. It does work. Resolution screen size, your monitor? It's a 2K monitor. Okay, so this pattern works. This pattern works. We're gonna stick with it, I think. Should I commit this piece by piece? Put out ASC entity data. entity default. There we go. Well, hang on. Before I do, well, I can amend. We can amend. But I wanted to think about storing this in the actually just on the proxy actor. So I don't even think we need to add this data here. Although, let me think about this. So usually for components, what you want is you attach them to actors. And so the actor has like, all actors have a list of components, and you can just generically get a component from an actor. You don't need to like cast your actor class to like your player class or your enemy class or whatever. And it's a really generic way to work with it. So I do have a proxy actor that has components on it, but I'm actually thinking that that's probably more inefficient to do that, because then what that's going to mean is my processors are going to iterate over anything that has a proxy actor on it, of which there will be a lot. And it will then need to do a get component by class. And then it maybe doesn't have that class. That sounds inefficient. I think I should probably put... let's change this to a ref. We're going to put the actual fucking ref of this on here. Is that allowed? Blueprint read only? Yeah, you're not going to be blueprintable anymore. Sorry, bud. New object. And then how do I get this to like here? We'll try this. This is going to be really weird. We can't. Excuse me. Is the only way I can do this is to create a pointer to it? Outer is this. So let me read what new object does under the hood. Maybe let's search Unreal Engine construct uObject ref. I don't want a pointer. Is that possible? I didn't see anything immediately. Result. Static allocate object. And then we use an object initializer. Yeah, this is gonna be... This is forbidden technique here. These are the forbidden arts. Jesus fucking Christ, so much happens when you make a new U object. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. So maybe, can I make a new U object, dereference it, and then move temp? New U object outer is this. ASC equals a dereferenced. We'll go move temp, dereference ASC. And it's a deleted operator. The move operator. But I have my own class here. So could I implement that? Oh, there would be so much that would need to move. That's a bad idea. Shit. Why did they delete that? Why did they delete that? I imagine it's probably like that for all components. Or something. Maybe maybe it's at the UObject level. Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think what I'm trying to do is possible. Or if it is, it's going to take a considerable amount of effort. So I wanted to store a component by reference, and then just make a pointer to the reference that I have, and put that, you know, onto the proxy actor. And that way, when I iterate, you know, these are nice and tightly packed as much as they can be, which these are probably too large anyway. So, yeah, they're 5,000 bytes. So it's not like I can grab too many of those anyway. Out of time. I mean, I think I was planning to rewrite gas anyway. But I feel like I'm gonna have to like majorly rewrite it. So I'll probably have to kick that can down the road. But as for whether I should just get the proxy actor and grab whatever components are on it, I will put it on the proxy actor so like in blueprints I can still handle things generically. But I think for my actual processors, they should probably opt to... I think probably ability system component is the only one that really matters. Ability and MQ, that's already on one too. Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave it like this. We can commit this, I think. Okay, yeah, push. Git push those, yeah. Okay, push successful. Successful, okay. What else? There are other things that need to be split out. Let me look back at our stat sheet here. Target processor is the biggest issue, but it runs on the background thread, so that's pretty isolated. Move to and velocity are our next ones. The velocity processor is also not what I would call correct. Also, what am I grabbing? What data do I need here? Input velocity. I need a lot of data. Movement type tag. Okay, let's change this to not re-get the data. That is a bit of inefficiency happening here. Where's the velocity processor? There we go. Okay, so we already have the velocity data and the movement data. So we want to pass both of those in. Don't we? Do we have movement data? No, we don't. I wonder if that should... Movement data. The movement data. Otherwise, and if it's valid. Ugh. Okay, so yeah, we have to do a lot here. God damn. The move speed. God, everything is tied to my ability system component. Man, there's so many big refactors that can happen here. I guess let's just change this to take in the existing velocity data. So this is just a tiny improvement. God, those other ones are going to be gnarly, because it's not like... Things can have velocity and not have an ability system component, right? And so I guess right now I don't really have a good way to handle optional data within a processor. It might not have movement data, right? And so what I do right now to handle optional data is I just like grab it ad hoc from the system. I suppose there is a way to write a... Oh my god, that would be a nightmare with this archetype system though. I think this is probably just the best way to do it, honestly. Yeah. Don't know if we can get much better than that. So yeah, if you don't have movement data or ability data, your max speed is your current speed. Okay, so that's what is avatar data used for here? To get the pawn half height. There's just like so many like tiny pieces of data that it's just like very annoying. I should probably, let's move that all the way down to like where it's used. Probably. Oh, that's why. I had to put it in the outer scope. And it's a pointer. Okay. We're doing a lot of line tracing as well. I wonder if all these vlogs are causing an issue too, like performance-wise. Like I stripped the code out internally. Frantic, how's it going? Welcome in. I stripped the code out internally, but like I'm wondering if just like calling this function, like calling these functions probably, like there's a lot of them here. That's probably non-negligible. Move direction, control input. Oh boy. Yeah, there's probably... This should maybe happen in its own processor, I'm thinking, maybe. Like applying the velocity to the transform. But then it's like we need to handle gravity. As well. So that's going to edit transform. Or not transform. That's going to edit velocity. Should I store these velocities in different fragments? If I were to learn C++ game dev, what's the development path look like? I mean, that's different for everybody. Like, there's no one path or anything in life, you know? What features should you focus on in the beginning, middle, and end? Yeah, that's entirely based on what you're trying to accomplish. So there's no answer to that that's not specific to each person. Depends on your project and what you want to do. Should I split? I put these all in one processor, and it's a bit much. Like I could just slap this on a background thread, but it doesn't solve the issue of this being like a pretty big fucking processor. This can probably go somewhere. On half height. I'm just doing that for the trace. For the gravity trace. I should probably base that on something else. Rather than pawn half height. This should go in a different processor. We would be editing the transform. And I mean, like, I don't have anything doing this at the moment. So should I just ditch that completely? Originally, I was having the animation blueprint control the... Or no, not the animation blueprint. I was having the floating pawn movement control the move. Am I gonna do that at all, ever? I mean, I think it could be conceivable. Would that be something that I would want as a part of the entity system? In a capacity that it gets picked up by this processor. Which is transform data, velocity data, move to, and input. Yeah, maybe it just wouldn't have an input velocity, so it would never get picked up by this. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking let's ditch it for now. Because I'm not using it now. And if I want the actor to control the movement, I'm thinking for something like bosses, where there's only like one of them. Or not many of them, so it's like, or maybe I don't need them on and moving while they're in a different, you know, stratosphere or whatever. Pawn half height, so this should probably be based off of, well, no, because it's the start trace, so we're going to from the top of the fucking entity. I'm wondering if this kind of information should just be stored on the transform data. Previous transformed. I feel like I don't need this. How big is this? 224. I delete these. How big is a function? It doesn't matter. The functions don't matter to the size of the struct. Be affected by gravity. That is something that I could conceivably I wonder if I should just have a gravity vector rather than a boolean, then I can like distort the gravity a little bit as well. Should I put gravity in its own? I could put gravity into its own component and system. Then like the is falling would be on the velocity. Or would that just be on gravity? Where's this all used at? Only in here. I should probably check it here too. Which is maybe what's going wrong. If transform data or no, velocity data D is falling. If we're not falling, we can do that. Otherwise we can't cannot add any control input, which I feel like should definitely be its own processor because it's like a completely isolated thing. I say that, but then these things like all require very similar data. Like having to go get a whole nother piece of entity data just to get the half height is super annoying. That's performance just down the drain just to get a simple piece of information. I kind of do feel like transform should have that on there. Can I bake that into scale? I think putting that into the scale to define kind of the bounds would be a good idea. But I guess how does that relate to like when I spawn an actor, I set this transform, right? So it kind of overrides that purpose of it because it would just scale the actor. It would be nice for data efficiency and compactness to put it in the scale, but then it's like when I would lose the ability to set the scale on the actor when it gets spawned, or the instant static mesh for that matter. So probably shouldn't do that. Probably should have its own. I should probably just have some like bounds on it and just rely on that information. The annoying part is about this option. The optional data is now like a performance bottleneck, which is kind of concerning because it's like some things maybe I don't care about bounds on certain things, but then it's going to be if I still want processors to run on that. Yeah, maybe I should just opt to have more data on entities that just maybe is set to the defaults or something. Definitely not something like an ability system component, but like for bounds, you know, even if I don't care about bounds on something, maybe I should still just have bounds on it just to avoid the ad hoc lookups. And the bounds would just be set to like, it could be 0 or all ones or something just like inconsequential. Let me see if I care about previous transform. This is the only function it's actually like used in. And I don't think I'm actually even updating it. Oh, that's input. Oof. Oh. 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 Ooh, okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All I want is braking distance off here. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have a struct for this. Maybe these individual pieces of data should be, because it's all derived anyway. Okay. I'm not calling these anywhere, am I? Hang on. No, okay, get rid of all that. What size is an F transform? Do it say? I don't think it's say. Size 96. Okay, the transform's kind of large. Should location, rotation, and scale all be stored separately? Oh my god. Wonder how much. Thank you for the sub, by the way, Ariel Ace. Thank you. Welcome. I'm wondering if there's like a if there's a point where these for eaches, like how many different types of data can they contain before there's just a lot of overhead to even run them. And it's like I'm sacrificing upfront cost to dispatching these for processing speed, which I think is probably a common trade-off in ECS systems. But if you only ever have literally an individual variable in each entity data, like how much would that, affect processing power versus upfront cost, And I think probably the more processors you have, the less it scales, maybe. I don't know. I'll probably have to do some thinking about that offline. So yeah, I think it's time for me to go. I need to take care of the doggies. I need to take them outside. I need to take myself outside too. So let's see. Who can we send you guys over to? Go Shawnee B. Oh my god. His game is super hot but Dark Souls. So I'm going to send you guys over to Shawnee B, another Unreal Engine developer. You should follow him if you haven't. He's super fun to hang out with. I don't think I'm pretty sure he does not stream on YouTube. So everyone on YouTube, sorry, you can come over to Twitch and go to Shawnee B. Go to the software and game development section. You'll find him. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. I appreciate y'all being here. I do. Despite my sarcastic responses to some questions, I do enjoy you guys. Don't let that go to your thighs, though. So until next time, I do have to go back to work tomorrow, so we'll see if I stream in the morning. Maybe, maybe not. But until next time, thank you all, and I hope you have a good rest of your Labor Day. A happy Labor Day.